Okay, we need to have a conversation about citations. Citations are very often difficult, and a lot of students have difficulties with them and they don't like doing them. But it is something that we need to talk about because it's very important. It is very important that you cite your work. First of all, you all know that anytime you quote another resource, whether it be a television show, a Facebook post, an Instagram post, a YouTube video, a scholarly journal, whatever it is that you're quoting from, you need to cite. But also, if you take information that you got and reword it in your own words, you still need to cite it. Even if you get somebody else's idea and you rephrase it into your own terms, if it's someone else's idea, you still need to cite that information. Okay? We don't want to have any plagiarism. You should feel free to cite other resources. You're actually encouraged to cite other resources. We want you to go out and research and read and look into other resources for information as long as you give credit for where you got that information. Okay? And to do that, you need to do it properly. So we're going to start by looking at the three most popular forms of citations. These are the manuals. These are the covers of the manuals for APA citations. APA is the American Psychological Association. This is what their latest manual looks like. There's also the Chicago Manual of Style, and here's the manual, the MLA handbook. Now, these are not the only ones. There's also Harvard. There's other ones. These are the most popular. I am very used to using APA. I know that a lot of you are going to be using MLA for the majors that you are in. Either one of those for this class, either APA or MLA, is perfectly acceptable. When you're in other classes at Coker University, your professor should tell you how they want their citations done. If they want them in MLA, they will tell you. If they don't tell you, ask them, because it is very important that you use the correct format because they're all very different and you want to make sure that you get it correct. Okay? Having said that, these are considered the Bibles. If you find the information in this book and this manual, in these manuals, um, you can trust and be reassured that that is the correct information. That is how you are supposed to be doing it. You can find these manuals in the library. You can also buy copies of these on Amazon. You're going to be writing research papers, and if you want them handy, it's worth, I think they're like 13, 15 bucks on Amazon, whatever it may be. Um, but these are to be trusted. In my opinion, there's one other resource that you can trust, and that is the website called the Purdue Owl. Before we talk about that, I want to talk about online citation generators. Those you cannot trust. Trust me, I have tried them all. Citations are something that, a lot of us find tedious. I know it can be difficult, and the easy way out is to Google online citation generator and have the computer do it for you. Those are often incorrect. Okay, it might look correct, it might look the way it's supposed to, but often the information is not entirely reliable. You can't trust it. It might be right one time and the next time it might be wrong. I've tried a lot of different ones, believe you me, and they're just not correct, and I can't in good faith have you using them. And also, that includes the online citation generators that you're finding in the databases. In the tutorials that I talk about throughout the semester, I'm going to show you where you can find citation information in the databases or in different resources. Those citations are often a starting point. You can't always rely on them. Sometimes they're correct, sometimes they are for sure, but sometimes they are not. So you should always check that citation information you get from the database against what you are learning in one of these manuals or against the Purdue OWL. Okay? So the two reliable sources are the manual and the Purdue OWL website, which I am going to show you right now. Purdue University Online Writing Lab, OWL, is widely accepted as a reliable website to use for citations. As you can see, I've got the MLA site pulled up. If you scroll down here, again, it's al.purdue.edu. There's a .edu, you can trust that. the style guide overview, make sure you're at the right one. So often, like if I'm writing a research paper, I'm going to type in how to cite an article. Make sure you put the correct format, how to cite an article in MLA or how to cite an article in Chicago. Okay, make sure you get the right one that you're looking for, because it is very easy to click the wrong one and be looking at the wrong guide, and then you're using the whole wrong stuff. Okay, so now that we're in MLA, you can see here it gives you all the information: style guide, basics, formatting list, endnotes, footnotes, how to do all of this stuff, the basic formats for your works cited page, how to cite a book, how to cite a periodical, how to cite electronic resources or websites. Okay, so if we wanted to look at periodicals, we can scroll down here and now we can see, oh, here's article in a magazine, article in a newspaper, how to do a review, an editorial. Again, you just find the one that you are looking for. So if you wanted to cite an article in a newspaper, here you go. Here's the example you need to use, and you need to follow this exactly. I know it sounds very tedious, but that's just the way that it is. First of all, you got last name, comma, first name, followed by a period. Then you've got quotation marks. And every word in this title is capitalized. Name of the publication is in italics, followed by a comma. The date is in day, month, year format, followed by a comma. Then you've got P period and the page number of the newspaper, followed by a period. If you leave out a period, if you don't put the capitals, if you don't capitalize the right words, if you leave out a quotation mark, you're not doing it correctly. Okay? This guide you need to follow exactly. And I know that sounds very tedious, and I know it sounds very nitpicky, but that's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is, okay? For this class, I'm going to ask you to do your very, very best. Another thing is, you can see there's a hanging indent here, and there's no spaces, okay? And all of the information about how you should do this is found over here in text, citations, the basics, formatting, all of this, works cited page, basic format. You need to read through all of these to figure out how to do your citations for what you need correctly. All right, before I let you go, I'm going to show you an example of how to do one. If I can find my document, here it is. All right, so this is an example of APA. First of all, APA uses the term references, and it needs to be on its own page. So I am going to insert a page break. Your reference page in APA should always be on its own page. References should be bolded and centered on the page. I've got my citations here. They should be in alphabetical order. You're going to put a hanging indent. And how to do a hanging indent is you need to come up to the ruler and look at these little triangles. So to do a hanging indent, you're going to take the middle and bottom triangle there and move it over 1/2 inch. So see it put a hanging indent. That means the first line is at the left margin. That's the above triangle. If I move that, it would move, but we want that to stay there. And the second line is 1/2 inch in because I moved this. Okay? That's how you do a hanging indent. And then for APA, it needs to be double spaced. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to double space it. All right. Now for works cited, I should have had this double spaced also. Now for works cited is the title of how you would do an MLA page. So instead of references, you would use works cited. They also use a hanging indent, but it is not double spaced. It needs to be single spaced. It needs to look like that. And then you need to change the format here. Go to your Purdue OWL and make sure that you're putting all the rest of this in the correct, because the date is not here. The date's over here. You put the page number, so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that gets you started. I hope that's not too confusing for you. You can always learn more by coming in and making a reference appointment at the library. Send an email to reference@coker.edu.